Hello Internet, I'm Yoli May, and it's time for another death battle! This time we have Scrooge McDuck versus Shovel Knight. Now, as I should say with all of my reaction videos, please click the link in the description below to go watch the actual episode for yourself, like, subscribe, all of that stuff, then come back to watch this video. Okay? Good. Support the official release. Okay. Now, I knew of both these characters before this fight was announced. I just didn't really know them that well. Like, I knew of them. But since then, I've watched a bit of DuckTales. It was kind of like, yeah, it just didn't seem to be for me when I was watching it. Maybe if I was younger, then I probably would have gone a lot more into it. Like, I don't know, but I was watching different stuff when I was a kid, so there's that. As for Shovel Knight, I did get his game, played it. It was a lot of fun, although when I got to the last couple levels, I kept getting frustrated. Stupid things kept killing me all the time, so I quit. The way it was going, I feel like I would have punched a hole through something. It was kind of frustrating. So, yeah. But it was still a fun game. I still recommend it and all that stuff. But anyway, as for who I think will win, I don't really know. Although a buddy of mine has made this convincing argument that Shovel Knight would likely take the victory. I can't really say that for 100% though. So, as for who I think will win, I'm going to wait to hear what Wiz and Boomstick have to say first, and then give my thoughts on that. As for who I'd like to win, I'm still relatively neutral in this, if I'm being perfectly honest, but if I did have to choose, I'd probably say Shovel Knight. Let's just leave it at that. I'm going to shut up, hit play. By the time that I'm recording, this is already live for first members, so I really want to watch this, so let's go. Oh yeah, Nathan Drake vs. Lara Croft didn't react on the
for others,
outro.
Wealth is in the adventure.
Either way, you'll be successful if you can bounce off your enemies' heads.
Like Scrooge.
Okay, I was getting a little confused because it showed Lara and Nathan. I was thinking, wait, I'm not actually. I'll go into that in the outro.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. The animation I've been looking forward to because I've been hearing it's really, really good.
In 1867, Scrooge McDuck was born to a poor family in Glasgow, Scotland. He grew up a relatively normal duckling until his 10th birthday.
Scrooge's father took him to see the remains of the old McDuck clan castle. See, their family wasn't always super poor, and Scrooge was inspired by the sight of their former glory. So the next day, he got a job and earned his first money ever. A dime.
Problem was, it was an American dime.
I was about to say, aren't dimes American?
Scotland. Naturally feeling pretty cheated, Scrooge swore he'd build his fortune by being, I quote, tougher than the toughies and sharper than the sharpies.
So
okay,
he
then.
hopped over to America to start his quest for wealth. And judging by his money vault today, where he literally swims in gold,
Don't actually try that.
he did a pretty effing good job.
No obstacle was too difficult to keep him.
I mean, don't try and swim in gold.
By my estimations, his entire net worth today rests around $300 quadrillion.
Rich as he is, he's got to defend his treasure trove somehow. So this wealthy waterfowl's got more guns than I do. Not to mention the trusty cannons he has hidden around his manor. Nothing like some old-fashioned artillery for home defense.
Scrooge also has a number of unorthodox high-tech firearms.
Or as normal people call them, laser
Pricing,
guns.
Jesus.
My favorite is the one that can shoot through solid steel titanium. It's
Ooh.
called the Burglar Stunner, but I'm pretty sure that'll do a hell of a lot more than stunner.
Yeah!
Well, my favorite would be Scrooge's Nutra-Friction and Anti-Inertia Rays. By removing a target's natural friction and inertia, these guns can turn a foe so slippery they can't grip anything, or take away all momentum from that foe's movement and weight. Without friction, a person will slide miles upon miles with no hope of stopping themselves.
Huh.
Without inertia, a cannonball will have even less impact than falling leaves. Though it is important to note that these guns do not affect personal gravity.
Yeah, science and stuff. Though if I were him, I'd prefer the feel of one of his rifles or swords.
Or his signature sidearm, his trusty cane.
What's so special about a dusty old cane, you ask?
He pogos
Well,
off it.
Look at the old
Yeah.
duck go! Not every duck can turn their cane into both a club and a pogo stick.
Even when he's unarmed, Scrooge's thirst for wealth has pushed his body past many preconceived limits. He
Jeez.
possesses incredible strength, speed, and durability.
Not to mention, the dude's got some
Like being able to
serious
swim
wiggle.
through gold like it's liquid.
One time when he was stuck in the savannah, he walked right up to a lion, beat it in a roaring match, and then just rode it all the way to town.
He's also
Huh.
a surprisingly skilled marksman.
Like some sort of gun-toting Mr. Miyagi, he can shoot flies out of the air with perfect precision.
And he's
Jesus.
no slouch with a blade. Apparently, Buffalo Bill taught him how to knife fight in, engine style. And now's a great time to remind you that Scrooge is pretty old. It was a different time.
Racism aside, it takes a lot to put this mighty mallard down. He survived the Titanic sinking, being frozen solid in the Yukon, fighting hordes of wild animals, and taking a cannon shot to the face before
Teddy
being
Roosevelt.
dragged through a minefield. He's even survived a trip to the literal center of the Earth, which, if you've forgotten, is pretty much super lava.
That's putting it mildly. The Earth's core is estimated to be well over 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Huh.
More than hot enough to cook your goose.
He's outrun a cheetah, which can reach 75 miles per hour. He's stopped a charging water buffalo, which can weigh up to 2,600 pounds.
And did you ever hear that legend where George Washington threw a silver dollar across the Potomac River? Well, Scrooge can do that too. And he even caught the coin on the other side. Because Scrooge isn't gonna waste a single dollar.
Seems pretty impressive, but Scrooge has some massively problematic flaws. Least of all is his age. He's 150 years old. That won't do him any favors in a fight.
And why can't he fly? I mean, he's a duck with his own private plane, and he has human teeth, and they really should just hire a poultry scientist at Disney. Oh, I'll send my resume.
That's a good idea,
More
Boomstick.
importantly would be his overpowering greed. He can often lose sight of his goals or explode into an uncontrollable rage if someone threatens his wealth.
He is pretty selfish and has a one-track mind. I don't know if the uncontrollable rage part, though, is such a bad thing.
Certainly not in some situations. Like the time Soapy Slick tried to rip Scrooge off, steal his property, and humiliate him by chaining him to a steamboat and making fun of his letters from home, including one informing Scrooge of his mother's passing.
That's more than enough to piss Scrooge off. So much that he literally tore the entire boat apart with his bare hands.
I was gonna ask if that was the thing I read in
Holy
the
damn,
sidebar.
that's some real foul strength.
Just goes to show that nothing can stand between Scrooge and his wealth.
I don't know which was wilder in those days, the wolves or me.
Okay then.
A long
So,
time ago, the world was
definitely made it
wild,
convincing.
and adventurers roamed the land. The most famous of whom were partners Shield Knight and Shovel Knight.
You can tell how good they are by the giant piles of loot behind them.
Shovel Knight and Shield Knight traveled together, and they were the stuff of legend. That is, until the Tower of Fate.
Once inside, a cursed
Yeah,
amulet
Shield Knight got
kept Shovel Knight
trapped,
out cold.
and
when he woke up, Shield Knight was
he
gone,
went
and the
farming.
tower was sealed shut. And boy, did that bum him out. So, like all depressed heroes, he abandoned everything and went to the wilderness to do a bunch of farming and most likely drinking.
Soon after he retired, an evil woman called the Enchantress took power, along with a group of villainous knights known as the Order of No Quarter. Get it? It's funny. So maybe retiring wasn't the most responsible idea.
Man's gotta mourn, Wiz. Man's gotta mourn.
You mean like when you took a week off to mourn after your divorce? Because I'm pretty sure all you did was get drunk and shoot fireworks at my house.
Ah, yeah. Man, that was a real good mourn. Well, anyway, Shovel Knight's break didn't last long. After the Enchantress and her knights took hold of the land,
I'm
the
gonna leave
Tower
that
of
one.
Fate unsealed. Knowing it was his only chance to find out what happened to Shield Knight, he dug back into action. And with him, he took his mightiest weapon,
A shovel.
a shovel.
Well, shovel blade.
Don't sell it short. It's not just any shovel, it's a shovel blade. And thanks to its surprisingly versatile nature, it can slash through anything from rats to...
Holy crap! Did he just kill
Yeah.
a dragon with that thing?
And that was on level 1.
Yes, he did.
That reminds me of the time I made my own weapon out of a yard tool. I miss
Hey,
my
The Simpsons!
blade, but everyone got really confused and offended whenever I yelled my catchphrase, "Prepare to get raked!" So
Oh.
I stopped using it.
Yeah,
Oh.
good idea.
Oh, probably smart. Well,
Yeah.
thanks to the Shovel Blade's unique attributes, Shovel Knight has a repertoire of deadly attacks, his signature being the Shovel Drop.
Boing.
This deadly downward drop
Boing.
allows him
Boing.
to dig into his enemies, pogo stick style. Now, where have I seen that before?
He also has a charge attack that, when unleashed, does massive damage and can even penetrate armor. If his enemy is more than a scoop's reach away, he can strike the earth to fire a dangerous spark that travels along the ground.
You know what else it's good for? Digging up all of that sweet, sweet treasure.
But the Shovel Blade is far from his only weapon. Throughout his journey,
Yeah, he's got a
Shovel
lot
Knight
of
acquired
relics.
many magical relics, which are quite handy in battle, though they do
Oh, yeah, they
require
are.
access to a limited supply of magic to use.
He can set stuff on fire with the flare wand, or punch through compact dirt with the dust knuckles.
He can also take the wind out of his enemies with the throwing
I
axe,
love
or
using
fly
that
a
thing.
short distance with the propeller dagger.
If Shovel Knight needs to kill bad guys in those hard-to-reach spaces, he has his trusty Chaos Orb, which acts like a bouncy ball of doom.
He also possesses the mobile
Alchemy
Leap,
coin.
a mechanism which
That
allows
I
him to
heard
traverse
about. I never
dangerous
found it,
terrain
though.
Such as spikes and small gaps with ease.
Mobile gear. But my favorite relic is the War Horn, which is kind of like the Horn of Gondor. But
Just
it makes people
kill
explode.
everything.
Shovel Knight carries a few defensive relics as well.
Yeah, like those sweet fish goblets.
You mean the Truple Chalices. These special liquid receptacles can carry ichors, substances which, when drunk, provide certain benefits to Shovel Knight.
Like invincibility.
Most notably, the ichor of renewal, which fully restores his health and magic.
And
Oh,
how
that's
do
it.
you get such a useful liquid? From a bunch of fish that perform an interpretive dance and spit in your cup. It's dinner and a show.
Last but not least is the Phase Locket. This relic allows Shovel Knight to pass through his enemies and even grants him temporary invincibility while under its effect.
Like all good
How long does
knights,
that last,
our
though?
shovel-wielding friend protects himself with a suit of shining armor. Actually, he's got a few of them.
His most capable all-around set is the Dynamo Mail. Along with providing the kind of defense you need for fighting the forces of evil, it has an added bonus. Hitting just about anything with his shovel drop builds up a powerful charge attack.
Normally, a large suit of armor comes with a
I don't
lot
think
of
I ever
extra
got
weight,
this.
but Shovel Knight doesn't let that slow him down.
Even in full plate, our delving hero seemingly never tires and is agile enough to dodge everything from cannonballs to fireballs.
Actually, the weight is more of a bonus since his attack of choice is bouncing on heads. Where's math that?
On it, comparing his height to these doors,
Oh, boy.
Shovel Knight appears to be about 4 feet 6 inches tall. Given his broad physique, he likely weighs approximately 100 pounds at most. In the 14th century, a knight's plate armor for combat typically weighed about 60 pounds. Scaling to Shovel Knight's height, his armor likely weighs 50 pounds. Including the 5-pound shovel, he must drop with a force of over 6,700 joules of kinetic energy.
Damn.
In comparison, Mike Tyson can punch with up to 1,600 joules, and has knocked out 44 people in the ring. And Shovel Knight's striking power is over 4 times stronger than that.
Jesus.
No wonder Shovel Knight was able to take down the entire Order of No Quarter, including a giant steampunk
Twice.
mech and the Enchantress herself.
He's also stubborn enough to hold his breath underwater for an impressively indefinite amount of time. And he even held his own.
Yeah, I was wondering if that level was gonna be like Sonic or something. Yeah, I knew they were gonna bring that up.
What the hell? Really? That's awesome. Guess you sell enough games, you can get anybody.
But even after all that, Shovel Knight doesn't seem the most intelligent warrior. After all, the only reason he gave up on Shield Knight for so long is because he just assumed she was dead.
Still, he's one deadly warrior who isn't afraid to put his enemies 6 feet under. You know, because he digs holes and stuff.
I accidentally paused it sooner, so I don't know. Okay, things synced up. It will be sorted out in editing, let's just put it that way. Okay. They did bring up a lot of convincing arguments for both these characters. Part of me, honestly, still wants to go with Shovel Knight. They did list an item that I have heard about, which I think could potentially help him a lot. It's this coin where if he hits an enemy with it, they become gold. So I'm wondering if Scrooge will see that and think, money! Grab it and then become the thing he loves. Maybe. But, I mean, if Shovel Knight does win, and I got to choose how the fight was ending, that would probably be it. So, it seems fitting to me for some reason. I don't really know why. But, then again, don't know too much about these characters, so let's just leave that alone. But, I think the invincibility and intangibility stuff could definitely help Shovel Knight out, especially with the whole replenishing his health and mana, which he needs to use his relics, so at least he has that to cover that. But with Scrooge, I want to say he... Oh boy, some of those feats. They were just... Ooh. Not really sure on what to say. But, I mean, destroying a steamboat with your bare hands like that, bloody hell. And surviving a trip to the center of the earth, that's definitely something. Although, something that I feel like is going to come into play, because they spent a particularly long time talking about it, is that Ray, the... It messes with, like, kinetic energy. That I forget what it's called. But... like, because they spent so long talking about it, I'm wondering if that's going to come into play. Like, Shovel Knight will try to attack, but then and it won't do anything, and then Scrooge is like, boop, and off he goes. And also, I can assume the cannons are going to come into play that he has around his house, because they brought those up, so I don't know, but though I don't think they said Shovel Knight can dodge laser fire, which they did state that Scrooge has. But well, then again, in one of the bosses, he does summon lightning, and he can dodge that. So I don't really know if that's comparable, but I'm just throwing anything out there. But with that bearing in mind, he did make a good argument for Shovel Knight. I want to still go with Shovel Knight for that reason mainly. So I'm going to predict Shovel Knight is going to win. If he wins, alright then. If he doesn't, alright then. I will say congrats to the winner regardless, and look forward to finding out who's next. But I really just want to see this animation at this point, because I heard it's really good, like 8-bit style animation. I've heard from Screw Attack themselves on Death Battle Cast, tweets from the animators, all that stuff, that it's really good. So I really want to see this. So I'm going to shut up and resume. Oh, also I'm going to play the advertisement so that I can potentially better sync up when Boomstick yells, "It's time for a death battle!" So I'm going to do that. Do some more editing, but should be all good. I'm already liking the animation. Of course. Just skipping along, picking up the jewels and the gold and whatnot. So many treasure chests. And Scrooge ain't having none of it. Jesus. Smash right through it, nice. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh yes, pogo off him! I haven't really seen Scrooge do that though. Oh, cannonball! He can dodge those. You've done it plenty of times. I love this animation! It's awesome! Swim. So much gold. I didn't really seem to affect Shovel Knight that much. Jeez. Oh, he drew blood. Oh, Dazers. Can you deal with that, Shovel Knight? Oh, crap. Uh-oh. Okay, then.
KO! Damn, that's cold. With his own weapon.
Yeah.
Shovel Knight might have been able to uphold the code of chivalry, but he could
Right.
not hold up to Scrooge's wealth of experience and superior strength.
Aside from the extra 100+ years of experience he's got over Shovel Knight, Scrooge's feats blew him out of the water. For example, there's no way that Shovel could have put him down very quickly when he's powered through a minefield like it's nothing.
And remember how he threw a coin across the Potomac River and rode across fast enough to catch it? Well, we know the average width of the river is 1,300 feet, and he threw the coin at an angle of 20 degrees. After some quick calculations,
right.
this means he must have thrown the coin, boarded his boat, rowed across the entire river, and exited the boat to catch the coin in less than 5.4 seconds. This means he must have been rowing the boat at speeds well over 164 miles per hour.
Damn.
Jesus, how fast are his arms moving there?
To make all of that work, at least 14,400 rotations per minute.
Jesus.
Fucking awesome.
He is strong enough to rip apart a steamboat after all. But regardless of Scrooge's power, Shovel Knight had very little options to defend against the Duck's wackier, physics-breaking weaponry. Those that could buy him some time could only last for so long due to his limited supply of magic.
Plus, Scrooge
I was wondering
fought
if-
knights
yeah.
and magicians before, while Shovel Knight never fought anyone quite like Scrooge McDuck. Looks like Shovel Knight dug his own grave.
The winner is Scrooge McDuck.
All right. Congratulations, Scrooge.
Next
All right, who's
time
next?
on Death Battle.
Venom! Oh! Oh, that's gonna be good.
Hey guys, I'm Chad. I play Boomstick. I'm Ben. I play Wiz. And next time we've got Venom from Marvel.
Ooh.
Stick to our social media. We'll be announcing it very shortly. And you could have watched this death battle early and all of our videos.
I am watching it early.
And a bunch of great stuff by becoming a first member. It's free to try, so click the link in the description below.
Sure.
Sign up today. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah.
Okay, that death. Oh, went straight for the jugular. Damn. But the animation itself, I thought that was amazing. So, kudos to the animators for doing that. That was awesome. And like I said, I didn't really have that much of a bias with these two. So, it was really good either way. So, alright. And I do like the episodes like that where I'm neutral, but sometimes I do like it when it's a character I'm super invested in. Anyway, I thought that was a good episode, and next time we have Venom. I look forward to finding out who he's going to fight. Should be a very, very good one. I am wondering though, because I haven't seen Torian like tease anything in terms of animation. He usually does that when leading up to a death battle. So is this going to be animated by Torian, or is it going to be another 2D animation? So I'm just wondering, because we did usually have that whole pattern of 2D, 3D, 2D, 3D, 2D, 3D. But I mean, sometimes it was 2 2D fights in a row, and then 1 3D fight, then 2. So I don't know, I'm just wondering at this point. So I look forward to finding that out, and of course who Venom is going to fight. can't really think of anyone immediately off the top of my head. Or it could just be someone that I do know of. It's just I haven't thought of that, and it's just laughably obvious. It's surprising how much that has happened. So, yeah. Anyway, this recording has gone on for like over half an hour. There's stuff I have to edit out, so I'm just going to leave it there. So, thanks for watching, all of that stuff, and here's my Tracer outro. Bye.
Hello loves, Tracer here. You've just watched a video by your only mate. Subscribe, like, comment and check out his other stuff. Cheers loves!